gun. So the person had to get the gun some type of way. So what if they did have the gun in a secure location or in a secure place and somebody was still able to get access to it? How much fault would they still have to face? Would it just be the same for everybody, or would it just be, okay, you had your gun locked up, but somebody was still able to get to it, so you pay this amount. You had your gun on the table, so you get the penalty, the maximum.
Right.
You know, would it be something like that, or would it just be one?
Well, that's what triggered me to say that, because one thing that you said was, I don't want it. Things like that shouldn't affect the law-abiding citizens who's doing everything they should be doing correctly. And I'm like, well, I don't know how the law would then change in that way, because typically the law is made for the masses. Right. How would they differentiate from yours is on the table, yours is locked up, you stole the key, you got it off the table? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I agree with you, yes. But the part that I'm like, that I live in a gray zone with is when you said, I don't think the law-abiding citizens who's doing things right should all be penalized across the board for the mishaps of people around the world here and there. And I'm like, I get that, but I don't know how then, if the law is the law, you can't then take it and say, oh, well, let's change it like this for you because yours is on the table.
No, that's not what I meant. Okay. What I meant was, because when the whole anti-gun movement is very reactionary. So whenever we have the massacres like the thing in Las Vegas and things like that, then new legislation starts whatever about how to, and I'm saying, because these laws, 99% of them is just, it affects law-abiding citizens. So I'm saying, because somebody broke the law and went crazy and did whatever, then you're then punishing people who had nothing to do with that,
right?
As a reaction. And the thing is, a lot of times it doesn't, it has a minimal effect on future crimes like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I agree. I feel like now the Las Vegas thing, that he was a grown man and those were his own guns or whatever. Right. So that was a different situation.
Totally.
But with these school things, these are kids getting their parents' stuff. So they're not going on the street buying guns, and they're not able to buy guns themselves.
Right.
So it's the parents. So I feel like if we address that issue, the parents being careless, that's something that can have an effect on future crimes or mitigate it.
And that part I agree with. But to me, that all laws, everyone is not going to, there's always going to be people who break the law.
Of course.
And a variation of the law.
Right.
So when you say...
so the ones who break the law, those are the ones who will be
I get it,
prosecuted.
But that's typically not how just law in general works. There's always going to be the law. This is the law. This is the blanket law about whatever. People are going to do whatever, but it's going to affect everybody. You know what I mean?
It's fine for it to affect everybody.
But that's the part that you don't want to happen.
No, see, you... No.
Am I hearing you wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Because I think he also...
I'm talking about new legislation.
Right.
New legislation that has nothing to do with like the magazine capacity and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I'm saying that should not affect people who, because I didn't keep my gun locked up. So my kid takes the gun to school and shoots everybody. Then California passes a new law saying, oh, okay, well, this type of gun, because what kind of gun it was that my kid used was the same type of gun that I had, whatever. This kind of gun is now illegal or whatever. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. That affects everyone.
Right.
When it didn't really, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the situation.
I see.
I get that.
You get that. So, okay, so I don't understand I'm not picking and choosing.
Can I ask you, you said you were talking about the blanket part. That's the issue.
Because somebody throw a different law on the table. What's another law?
But you can't.
Rape. Okay, rape.
God, we got to go rape.
Rape? Can we go a show without talking about rape?
Oh, you guys talk about that? Okay.
Say rape.
Oh, you do? Because you got a drop. A drop for it. All
right, great. We got it. It's on the table.
We're just going to go with rape. Okay. Okay.
Why not? It's a law. I mean,
that's a tough one.
Okay, let's go with rape.
All right.
So let's say in the law of rape is wrong across the board. Right?
Yeah.
But then let's say there's a guy who's like, well, I didn't do that because she said this. It's like this whole back and forth, but then they pass new legislation. It's going to affect everybody. So I get what you're saying, but the laws are going to be built for the masses no matter what. So it's always going to affect people that they didn't do anything wrong. That's all I'm saying. It's always going to affect people like that.
I think...
that's not...
Justice happens that way sometimes.
Right.
It doesn't always fall on the right side.
Yeah.
However, I think that there's always is... there's no laws that don't have like little subsections that are like, it doesn't affect this, it doesn't affect that, and, like the person shall be excused from this, the person shall be excused from that. They're not always just completely blanket. They have to build them so that it says, like, if you are like our new medical marijuana, legal marijuana law in California is like, oh yeah, we can sell it, but it's got to be this way. It's got to be 35% tax. It's got to be this way far from a school. It's got to be this way. So it's not just legal across the board. There's all these little laws up underneath it. And the same thing when we restrict stuff, it's like, oh well, except unless you are this and this and that.
I get that. But what I'm saying is, even with that marijuana legislation that just passed, let's say someone then built theirs or built there, but they opened a, what are they called?
A dispensary.
A dispensary, thank you. They opened a dispensary and it's like 30 feet away, but they didn't measure it right or something. And now they passed new legislation that said, you know what? Now everything has to be 40 feet away. So all new people that's coming to do it or people that's there now has to then change different things. Okay. There's always going to be things that happen as change is going to add new legislation that's going to then affect said business owner who was already there before. Because once they change it and pass it, that's all I'm saying. So when it comes to the blanket thing and all the addendums that happens with it, when it changes, I get your thing of like, man, it shouldn't affect the law-abiding citizens that does it the right way. And I'm like, I don't know how they can pass a legislation about anything and it doesn't.
Okay, well, let me. I understand what you're saying now. Let me rephrase. They should better target the laws to have more effect on the issue instead of just because this is the thing.
Instead of reactionary.
They're reactionary and they're ignorant. And it's not a bad word. They're ignorant. Most of these people in Washington and in government, whatever, who are lobbying against guns, they're ignorant about guns and they don't understand how they work. Yeah. And they just lobby catchphrases and buzzwords and things like that. And it's really, if you guys understood what was going on, you would agree with me like 100%. A lot of the shit that they're doing is just stupid. It makes no sense. And it's not that, people are just so pro-guns. No, it's like, okay, we're not animals. We don't want people dying for no reason either. But make the laws that actually do something that will affect and make change and will help people, not just make shit more difficult for no reason that's not even changing anything. It's just...
I agree.
So that's actually a lot of the laws that they're doing is just basically... making making gun industry de facto illegal almost. So it's really frustrating.
Got it. I love what you said. More targeted to the actual issues that matter.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Beautifully said. The perfect way to segue.
That's politics.
So, did you guys know about this Facebook kiddie porn thing?
What?
I did not. I see that up there, and I'm like, wow.
I do not know about this at all. Actually.
So yeah, I'm happy. I'm proud of this. Let me tell you what's going on.
I didn't hear about this.
Jesus.
There is a viral video of some kiddie porn going around Facebook, and the only reason why I know of it is because I see lots of people on Facebook complaining about it. And I have to say, I'm very proud of all of my Facebook friends because no one sent it to me, and they sent me some shit, boy. But they didn't send me this, so. Kudos to my, I wouldn't expect it from any of my real, but Facebook, there's a lot of people just fans and stuff or whatever that I don't really know. And they could have just did it, but they haven't. So yeah, it's crazy. There's something going around. I don't want to see it. This is not a request. Don't send it to me. And guys, don't send this because what people are doing, they're not sending it around as trying to seduce people with kiddie porn. They're like, how people do that shocking thing. Oh my God, I can't believe, look at this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you can't do that.
And
you can't do that with kiddie.
That.
Right. You can't do that. That is still a crime. Even if you're saying, hey, look what somebody, oh my God, this is so terrible. Yes, it is so terrible. You just have to write, somebody sent me something terrible, or whatever, but you can't forward it. You can't send it because you can go to jail for that. You really can.
This is like some virus-y kind of thing.
It's not a virus. It's people forwarding stuff.
Actually really forwarding kiddie porn?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
So when you say kiddie porn...
Somebody uploaded it like any other video people forward.
But how do people... Why if you saw that, why are you forwarding it?
Because people...
What's the incentive?
Like I said, people are crazy. They're shocked. Like, oh my God, can you believe this? Whatever.
This sounds like a virus. I'm sorry. Y'all need to go to Snopes and check it out.
Right.
Yeah, you could be you
get a virus.
It could happen.
Watching on your phone.
What reasonable person is forwarding some mess like that?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Well, I gotta agree with Dina on this one because I feel like if it was so shocking, how many times do you send something to your friend? Girl, can you believe this? And you send
Never.
it, not thinking like, oh my God, I'm perpetuating this.
I have,
send it,
and I've
like,
gotten
I can't
like,
believe this.
like
And
I've gotten
so
some
I understand
stuff
that.
like, girl, don't ever send me nothing like that.
I've never.
I had a video. Somebody sent me a
well,
video.
no, not kitty porn. But
Yeah, no.
No,
It was
I'm not even
example.
anything outrageous. If it's something that shocked me, I'm not going to pass it on to
I had
like,
a
well, now
shocking
you have to
video.
see it too.
I had a shocking video of a midget. He was a little person, and he was stripping. And I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. He was just like a construction worker. So I sent it out to everybody, all my friends. I got to see this little person dancing right on the stripper pole, and he was like twerking and everything. And my homegirl was like, don't you ever send me anything like that. That is so disrespectful, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my God.
It's also not illegal.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
But it was shocking, and in some ways, it's not looked upon favorably. So, but I still sent it.
Well, I don't know about this instance. You're right. It could be a hoax, a virus, whatever. But when I Googled it, there's a lot of instances that showed up in Google and on HuffPost and some other credible sources that stories of.
Y'all need to bring me some receipts.
Some
on
kitty
this one.
porn being.
But I can
found
also
on
see
Facebook.
how it can be a
I didn't even
virus.
get through and go viral on Facebook.
Yeah.
Don't they
Well,
have parameters?
Anyway, the lesson of the day is if you get this, do not send this to
not
anyone
send
else,
this to anyone
please.
Don't open
Just
it.
delete it.
Yeah,
my God.
just like don't do that.
Natural
Don't do it,
selection. Just
no.
delete it.
No.
I'm gonna report you.
So tourists are being advised to leave Jamaican resorts,
Not
to leave Jamaican resorts after 13 people are killed over the weekend. Yeah, the Canadian.
Well, why they gotta be doing shit when I'm about to go? Don't be doing shit when I'm coming.
You going for your
That's fucked
birthday?
up. I want it to.
Right.
The Canadian, the British, and the American tourist advisories are telling people, if you go to Jamaica, just stay on the resort because there's some violence and things going on, and it's kind of dangerous right now. I've been to Mobay. We went to Mobay years ago before my daughter was born, and we left the I keep wanting to say reservation, the resort. We left the resort on a few instances, but mostly we played it safe because we had never been before, and we didn't know the lay of the land or whatever, and we didn't have anyone with us who knew. So when we did go, we went with like organized trips by the resort. Like we went out on like a what do you call it? A sightseeing tour where we saw some haunted plantation or something like that. And then another time we went out, we rode horses in the ocean. That was pretty cool. We climbed a waterfall.
Oh, that's cool.
And one time we went out, we went to a club. And even though we went with actually, it was just the resort that gave us transportation to and from. So we were kind of on our own there at the club.
Right.
And I got into a situation.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was diffused, thankfully, because I'm a pretty diplomatic guy. But some guy was like, how we have those dudes outside of the
Club.
no, the supermarket or the or wherever that's slanging their CDs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, this guy was like a Jamaican equivalent of that dude. He was in the club slanging his mixed CDs and this and that, whatever. And there was like nothing for me to play them on. I didn't know the people. I didn't know what it sounded like, and I wasn't trying to buy it.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't interested. I was like, I have no idea who this is, But his attitude was, you in my country, you need to support local business or whatever, right? Pay your tourist tax or whatever.
Right.
And he was being a bit aggressive, and I was calmly talking him down or whatever. We had met this other couple from Chicago. There's a lot of Chicago since you got on the show, Pip. Like every other word, every other person. It's always Chicago. I never...
Because it's the best.
Oh my God. So anyway, Ruben and I can't remember his woman or wife or whatever she was. We were hanging out with them. And Ruben saw that I was, with this guy, and it was getting a little bit heated, and he came trying to rescue me. Mm-hmm. And he did a poor job with his subterfuge. He came over, hey man, let me holler at you over here for a minute. The girls wanna, and dude wasn't buying it. And dude saw him like trying to swoop me away. Basically, the way dude saw it is disrespect. Like he's trying to work up on a sale, and we're going back and forth. Mm-hmm. And this guy comes and takes me away.
Right.
So he's mad.
Wow. Yeah.
Now he's pissed. Before he was agitated because I wasn't trying to buy, but now he's pissed.
Mm-hmm. And he thinks y'all playing him for a fool.
He feels disrespected.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I could, can speak on because that was obvious.
Right.
And I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, damn.
Here we go. And so I end up like talking the guy down some or whatever, and Ruben like apologizes whatever and tries, because I'm like, I'm not afraid of this guy.
Right.
He's not physically imposing. I think if I had to, I could take him, but I'm in another country.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. For all I know, he could run that club. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I don't know. Like everybody in there
His
could be with
brother
him.
could be their
Right.
police.
Yeah. Yeah.